What's up, guys? Mason the Brock Henderson here, and this is Legends of Tomorrow, Season 3, Episode 10, Daddy Darkest. You get the name of it. It was pretty clever. It didn't even hit me till they even said, oh, this is actually Nora Dark. I'm like, of course, the name of the title. But yeah, this was a fairly interesting episode overall. I didn't expect them to go this route, but they threw me a curveball, and I really, really like what they're doing with it right now because we're trying to figure out more about Malice. And I didn't even think we were going to go back in time to when Malice first showed up, but we do, and it turns out he actually showed up inside of Nora. One of the things that I wonder if we're ever going to get confirmation about is, I guess, when Dark went to go get her. Like, if she just grew up in this, I guess, the hospital where she was being kept, because that one doctor was apparently part of Dark's plan the entire time. I wonder if we're going to get a little bit more confirmation about how that transpired, but getting to see how Nora ended up with Malice inside of her, and I guess that's how she got her abilities. I kind of assumed it was probably because Dark was her father and, hereditary stuff, but maybe it's because Malice gave her powers. Who knows? But maybe they'll explain that later. But before I get into talking about the story and what I liked about it, there are a couple things in this episode that definitely didn't sit right with me. And the main thing being that we do tend to talk about relationships on the CW. That tends to be something in all of the CW DC shows. However, I feel like out of all of the 4 shows, The Flash does relationships the best because they give us good, entertaining characters that fit well together, and normally they have a lot of chemistry. Supergirl probably does it the worst because it feels like they just sort of force relationships just to have relationships on the show. And then Arrow just feels like whoever gets shipped together, that's who we're going to have. We're going to have those 2 people together because the fans want them shipped together. Legends of Tomorrow has always been that one show where it feels like relationships do happen, but they don't really happen necessarily because, like, 2 people spend a lot of time together and they get to know each other. It tends to happen because we're a team of people going through time and saving the timeline. So if things are going to happen, hey, you're attractive, I'm attractive, let's hook up. So relationships has never really been one of the focuses, and it's not really been a big strong point of the show either. It's sort of been something that just sort of happens. If 2 people, good looking, and they get along really well, they have a lot of flirty chemistry, yeah, okay, they'll hook up. However, in this episode, it feels like it took a little bit more front and center with Ava and Sarah. And I knew this was coming because on Twitter, like, I haven't been able to watch any of these episodes, obviously, but on Twitter, I just keep seeing it pop up, ooh, Ava Lance is my new thing, ooh, Ava Lance, awesome, Ava Lance all the way. I'm just like, I knew it. As soon as she came onto the show, I just had this not necessarily when she came on the show, it was when she and Sarah were fighting. I had this inkling, I'm like, the way they're shooting this, it almost feels like they're kind of building some sort of, like, sexual tension between these 2. Like, it's like the way the director was filming. He's like, all right, I want you 2 to be fighting, but also keep it pretty sexual, like, put each other up against the wall and that type of thing. I don't know, it just felt very, like, sexual tension. And then they go to the Barbarian episode, and she's just like, oh, I don't need a man, I'm not really into men. I'm just like, oh, what a shock, she's now a lesbian. What a coincidence. Sarah's bi. Oh, I wonder what's going to happen next. And sure enough, they're building it up. And the thing is, it's taking too much focus for me. If you want to do it, whatever, fine. But don't take too much focus away. And it felt like there was a lot of focus on it at the beginning and at the end of the episode. In the middle, didn't really come up. There was that one weird scene where Sarah and Constantine hooked up for a bit. And I'm just like, where did that come from? Like, they're just all of a sudden in the room just like, yeah, we're in 1969, together, alone. It's like, what? So, yeah, I don't know what's going on with Sarah. I talked about, and even some people have commented on my past videos and talked about how at times it felt like Sarah was just that, oh, she's a girl who is bi, and so let's just have her sleep around with all these different hot women and hot guys because, I don't know, she's hot, they're hot, let's do it. And it just felt like she was too much of, like, sleeping around type of person. You're not really the Sarah Lance that is a captain that leads her team. in this episode, it felt like a return to that. She's crushing on Ava. Ava's crushing on her. They go back in time with Constantine. She goes and sleeps with him. I'm just like, what are we doing? Why do we go back to this? This season has not really talked about any of this stuff at all. Sure, they had that little bit of thing with her and Ava, but it wasn't really a big thing. It was just kind of like some throwaway lines that are going to lead to them hooking up. But I don't feel like that has been a big thing for this season. The relationships have not really been that much of a focus. It's been mainly focused on the team, trying to find their purpose in a world where now the Time Bureau exists and they don't really seem like they have much of a purpose. That seemed to be the main focus. And so for this one episode to take away that focus and then go back to, oh, Sarah's just sleeping around again, it didn't really feel right. So that was one problem I had. And then the other one was Leo. I don't know. He was here and now he's gone. I don't know why they brought him back. I mean, really, he comes onto the team. He and Mick have a few words for each other. They're trying to find friendship, even though they're two completely different people. They remember different versions of the other that they used to partner up with. And so it's kind of like, it doesn't really work, but they're trying to make it work. And I honestly wanted to see them trying to work out a partnership together, trying to sort of compromise to where maybe Leo does end up doing some bad things because he realizes sometimes that's what it takes to get the job done. Maybe Mick does kind of take away a little bit of his bad guy persona because he realizes that can't be all life is about. There are deeper meanings. But no, it kind of cuts off halfway through. They had a little bit of a mutual respect at the end of last episode, and now he's just off the team. He's just like, I'm going to go home, I'm going to propose to Ray, and I'm done. I'm just like, why did bring him back then? I understand, okay, you want to bring Leonard Snart back on, great, but why bring Leo onto the team if you're just going to kick him right back off? It felt kind of weird. It felt out of place. But those two things were the big things that just really didn't sit right with me. Sarah sleeping around, Leo deciding, hey, I'm off the team. It just didn't really feel right. But anyway, on to the main story for this episode. So Constantine shows up because he's trying to exercise malice out of Nora, not realizing either of those are who he's dealing with. So the team goes to deal with him. They realize, oh, it's Malice, and they realize, oh, it's Nora. And so they're trying to save her, but then Malice possesses Nora, and Constantine can't handle him. He can't deal with trying to get the demon out of her. So it's pretty interesting to see that Malice is more powerful than even his magic. So Malice then draws some sort of thing that sends them back in time. And so that's pretty much the basis of this episode. We got the team in the present day trying to get Nora, trying to help her with Malice, and then you got Sarah, Constantine, and Leo all back in time trying to find a way to get back to the present. I did like, though, how it wasn't something where I thought they were going to do something like, oh, let's just draw something and then have the team help us out. But no, they actually managed to find a way back on their own while the team were dealing with their own problems. So I'll just hit this piece by piece. The things I really liked about Sarah, Constantine, and Leo's side of the story, I like Constantine and Sarah's camaraderie. Even though they slept together and I thought that was really weird and forced out of nowhere, I did like the back and forth between them. Even the back and forth between Constantine and Leo at times could be pretty funny. So I don't know. Constantine is always an enjoyable character just because he's got this sort of charisma whenever he's on the show that really works on a funny show like this one. Just the back and forth, the quick one-liners. It's really fun to watch. The other thing that I liked was getting to see them kind of find a difficult way out of the situation. It seemed like, oh, there's no way out of this. And Sarah realizes, no, let me inhabit Malice for a second, and then I can draw the power using I can draw the symbol using his power to get us back to the present. I can do what Nora did to send us back here. I don't know, I really like whenever they have to take a difficult road to get to the solution. It's not easy. Things sometimes get messed up. So I really like how they did that, and I like the fact that it wasn't something that's just like, oh, the team's going to come back in time and save us. Problem solved. So there was that. I think that was about all the stuff that I liked. I mean, that's pretty much most of it. Leo, for some reason, gets taken in by the doctor that grows up to be the old woman helping Dark. He gets taken in by her, and she's like about to lobotomize him or something. That was kind of a weird segment where it's just like, oh, we can't have it be easy and have them leave a note, so let's have Leo be captured. So I think that was about all for them going back in time. There's a little bit of a kind of foreboding comment from Constantine at the end talking to Ray, where he's just like, you're talking about an anti-magic gun, don't get rid of that. If Malice does manage to overpower Sarah and use her, you may need that type of weapon to sort of, take him down. So it's pretty foreboding, and it sounds like Sarah's going to be dealing with Malice for most of the season, which I do kind of like because, yeah, she even says, I thought I was over this whole bloodlust thing. Well, she kind of has. She's grown as a character, she's overcome that, but now she's facing a challenge even greater than even the bloodlust. Now she's dealing with a demon that's trying to possess her and use her to take over the world. So, I don't know, I like the fact that she's once again got a demon to deal with, but this time it's not her own demons, it's a completely different one. So I hope they utilize some of that well, but we'll see going forward. As far as the team is concerned in the present day, they were also kind of split up into two segments. I will say, just sort of overall, I loved having Mick sort of step in as the faux captain for this one. Everybody's arguing and stuff. He's trying to watch a football game. And he's just like, shut up! He's like, you go do this! You go do that! And then Ray's just like, you have a promising career in leadership. He's like, he's just like, and then leaves. I don't know. It's just really funny seeing Mick step up. But yeah, so we've got Ray and Zari go and try to stop Nora from whatever she's trying to do. So they do manage to get her out and try to talk to her, try to convince her that, you maybe if we talk to her, maybe if we can convince her to be nice, maybe she'll actually grow up to like us. Well, there's a scene where they go to Jitters and she's just like possessed by Malice, starts freaking out, clawing desks, throwing things everywhere. And then there's a moment where Zari grabs her and it like burns her, Malice. She's like, you're one of the six. And I think Constantine earlier in the episode said something about the six or something like that. So I'm wondering if maybe there are 6 totems. We know Zari is one, Amaya might be the other one. But I'm wondering if maybe all these totems, they're going to bring them together and then use them to stop Malice. If that's maybe the only thing that can stop him in the first place. So he's about to kill Zari, but then Sarah at the time is in Malice's world back in the past, and then goes and finds Nora, convinces her that she is strong enough to overpower Malice, and then the glass drops. She's like, I'm sorry, I don't want to do this. And then Damien Dark walks in and he's just like, don't worry, my dearest. Come with me and I'll help you out. And so, of course, she goes back to the hospital so everything can play out like it's already been playing out. And that's pretty much where it ends there. So we see the team fail there. On the other side of things, we've got Nate and Amaya talking to Amaya's granddaughter, the water witch, whose name escapes me. But we see that, she's trying to reason with her. She's trying to be like, look, let us help you. And that's when the granddaughter is just like, look, you had a chance to stop them and you did not, and you did nothing. You know you have the power to stop them, but you don't do anything. And so she kind of feels like she's been wronged by a grandmother, and I can kind of understand that. She was also left behind apparently by, I think it was it her mom or maybe her aunt? I don't know. But we see that she got left behind whenever people were being taken away and escaping the village. So we see that's also another reason why she feels so betrayed. And then that's about the time that was it Malice or Damien Dark? I think it was Malice. Yeah, because I think we had that moment where we saw Nora like summoning her out of the water. So I think it was Malice came to her, Nora's body, and pretty much said, you have a chance to save them, you have the power to. And so kind of convinced her that's why she's helping, to have the power to save her family and go back in time to do that. So, yeah, I really like how they handle all of that, and I'm liking how they're sort of building up her as, right now she's the villain, but she has a chance for redemption, and she probably will in the end. But now it seems like for the second half of the season, we're going to be trying to track down all the different totems because, like I said, that seems to be what it's going to take to stop Malice. So we've already got 3. We've got Amaya's, we've got Zari's, we've got the Water Witch, and she said there's one of Earth and one of Fire, and then maybe another one as well. Heart! I'm sorry, I didn't mean to bring that up. Anyway, so all in all, I really am enjoying it. I hope this whole Ava Lance thing, obviously it's going to be something that does pop up, because like I said, seeing it on Twitter, I'm hoping it just doesn't take up too much time. If they want to do it, whatever. I don't care that much. It's not as in your face as, say, Alex and Maggie on Supergirl were just like, oh my gosh, I think I'm gay. Oh, what do I do about that? Oh, let's spend an entire half of the season talking about how hard it is. Um, I mean, Sarah's always been the character that sleeps around with both guys and girls. Ava, sure, is just kind of random how she, oh, I don't really like guys, just out of nowhere. So you could say that they're trying to, push that a little bit, but it's not as obvious as Alex and Maggie, so I don't have that much of a problem with it. It's when they get so like forceful about it, it's like you have to support this or you're a horrible person. That's when I'm just like, okay, come on, like this is stupid. And when it takes away a lot of time. So because I've only got 3 episodes, I know I've been doing like multi-episode. I think I'm going to take these one at a time because it does feel like these are possibly going to be a lot more meaningful than some of the other episodes I've been watching. But yeah, so this is the first of the 3, and I'm hoping to get through the next few very soon. But anyway, that's all I have to say about this one, so let me know what you guys think down in the comment section below. What were your thoughts on this episode? Let me know. We can talk about and discuss all that good stuff. Leave a like and subscribe for future Legends of Tomorrow reviews, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace out.